kitchen, the hub of activity where it all happens in every home. Well, I'm standing in Jadine's kitchen right now, and as you can see, it's all starting to really take shape. Welcome to your new home. With the exterior cladding on at Jadine's house, the builders are at work putting the jibboard on the interior wall framing. As each jibboard sheet goes on, the rooms start to take shape.
Okay, now we're at the jibbing stage, so bats are all in, walls are all finished, and it's quite good actually when we get to this point because jibboard's going on and it closes in the walls and stuff quite a bit. So quite funny for most people because they get a sense of space. Hopefully it's a good thing. Sometimes the rooms look a bit smaller, other times they're looking quite big. It's just that whole process, floor down, people think the floor is small, put the framing up, it gets larger again, it's just an ever-changing thing. So jibboard's good. I like this part because it's sort of the beginning of the end, if you like. It's the beginning of the finishing stages, and we can get a sense of how everything's going to look. Now, when it comes to the jib, there's a couple of options. On the walls, you've got your 10mm, and which pretty much everybody uses, so it's just a 10mm board. Jib's now used quite heavily as a bracing element in your home. So if you're building a new house, you'll see that in certain areas of the walls there's a lot of screws and they're very close together, and that's to achieve the bracing elements required to keep your home nice and sturdy and stuff. And then lastly, from our point of view, there's another product which you probably have heard of, and that's Aqualine. So that's the green board. Now, this particular stuff's used mostly in the wet areas, and again, you don't have to, but it's a good idea to do it, and it's something that we do. So bathrooms, toilets, all those sorts of areas. Now, this particular product, it's got a water resistant type property to it, so it's not completely waterproof, but it's got a water resistant property. So, you know, with showering, baths, all that sort of stuff, there's a lot of moisture going on in the bathrooms, so don't really want this to be soaking up any moisture. So use this board, we can counteract against any of that sort of thing, and you'll get a good finish. And, I mean, put it this way, we don't want to be going back to any homes later on because the board's got wet and rotted or anything like that. So jib Aqualine, good idea. And from this point on, really just plastering and painting, and it's really good.
Hi, I'm Ivan, and this is my tip of the day, claddings. Claddings are really important on the house. There's been a lot of publicity around leaky homes, and some of that's been caused by claddings. At Fowler Homes, we've always had a strong history of using clay brick. Clay brick's a really good product. It's still the best cladding material in the world. Nothing is no maintenance as clay brick to my knowledge. And we've 30 years of using it here, we've had no issues with it. Unfortunately, with the earthquakes, there's a strong requirement in Canterbury for lightweight claddings. Brick is not a lightweight cladding material. So now we've got new products that have entered the market that were sort of not used as much, but now used more heavily. One of those is aerated concrete panel, AAC, I think is the abbreviation, acronym. Everything's got acronyms these days. AAC panel is really nice and light. It's a plastered finish, and it goes up really quite quickly. Alongside aerated concrete panel, you've also got polystyrene, which I know some people will think is a voodoo, but it's not. The new polystyrene system's all about, it's made by a company called Rockcoat, and put on by approved installers, and it's got a really good backing on it, really good flashing system and a cavity. Using all those things, you shouldn't be frightened of any of these new materials. Then there's the traditional linear weatherboards, there's also traditional timber weatherboards, then you've got other modern materials sneaking into the market on more high-end housing. Again, it goes back to the same old thing, budget, budget, budget. Let's talk about what your budget is. We can talk about what claddings you need alongside the soil materials and the type of foundation structure you need to support that cladding. So my tip of the day is claddings, and that's my tip of the day.
And with another top tip over, Ivan makes his way back to Sumner to Jane's house. There, the exterior cladding is being applied to the house. Gone are the days of simply nailing on wooden weatherboards and hoping a few coats of paint will keep the weather out. There's a whole new way of cladding houses to keep them dry and healthy.
I wanted to talk to you about cladding. In the other job at Jadine's home, the cladding system's an Integra lightweight concrete plastered, which requires a lot of finishing, and it's a thicker material. Both products sit on a cavity batten, and this particular product here, there's a cavity batten behind this bit of plastic. That's a treated timber batten. So this piece of plastic here sits over that to stop any transmission of the contaminants and the treatment from the timber coming through into the back of the aluminium. This piece here is a weather seal, so that stops any water or draft driving in behind the cladding. And when this is completed, there's a flashing that goes over this like that, just clamps over it. While you're looking at this, you can see the profile of the aluminium siding. This product for New Wall, which is a Fletcher's product, is pre-finished. So once the guys have put this on, put the cat flashing on, there's no painting. It's very easy to wash down. It's got a 15-year durability system on the paint, and it's a really good alternative, particularly with Jane's house being so close to the ocean and the sea spray. That's primarily why we selected it. Also with the nonsense that goes on in Christchurch with all these new earthquake requirements, and very, very light being aluminium. The irony on this job is that both the cladding and the windows are made by Fletcher and supplied to us by Rolock here in Canterbury. This is colour selected by Jane out of a massive amount of colours. God knows her clients choose them, but she's really happy with it. She's seen it, and luckily for me it's the right colour as well, so that's even better.
Back at Jadine's house, the jib boards are in place, so it's time to get plastered.
Now we're at the plastering stage, so the jib board's been put on. Obviously we would have joins and screw holes all through the wall, so this is pretty much the beginning of the finishing stage. So everything that we do from this point on is really, really important. If we do things wrong now, it's going to look wrong forever. So getting a good plaster finish is bloody important, and it'll make it easier for the painters to carry on with their work. So plastering or jib stopping pretty much means just filling up the joins. The boys will put some tape across here, plaster it up and then sand it so it's all nice and smooth. What you see here is what's commonly used in most new homes. It's called a level 4 finish. So by that, the plastering is smooth. If you were to paint any colour off a white base, you wouldn't be able to detect the joints or where any of the screws were. If you were to paint this wall a black colour, like dark black or any sort of a dark colour, or shine a light on it, then you need to go up to what's called a level 5, and that would require skim coating the whole wall. Now the reason for that is that plaster, once it's on and sanded, is really, really smooth. Jib board, it's got a natural, like an eggshell texture, so lights on it or dark colours, you can tell the difference between those two textures when you look at them. Consider that when you are sorting out your paint colours for your house, and make sure that you let us know if you're going to do something really fancy on the wall, and we'll make sure that the plastering's done right. So in Jadine's case, most of her house is level 4. She does have a black wall, however, in her bedroom, black feature wall. Black, I know, really? That's what she wants. So she's a client, she can have it.
Still to come, when the plaster dries, it's time to call in the painters. At Jadine's house, the walls, doors and frames are being prepared for the painters.
Right, now we're at the painting stage, so this is the beginning of the finishing really. This is where the stuff starts to look really, really good. So first part is you would have seen earlier the boys were sanding up the doors. Now these doors have got these feature grooves in them, which are really, really cool, and they come directly from the factory like that. The problem is that when they're done from the factory, they can sort of have a bit of a sort of a furry look to them. So if the guys don't sand those grooves properly and sand the face of the door, the moment they go to spray it and roller it, you can't really get an even texture. So preparation, and if you talk to any painter, preparation's the key. So that's what they've been doing earlier. They've sprayed all of the door frames so we can get a really nice spray finish. There's other ways you can do it. You can brush it or you can roller it, but our preference is to spray.
Now Jadine wants to have a black wall in her bedroom. Dustin goes to see if the client really is right.
Okay, so earlier we were talking about Jadine's black wall. Here it is, here's the finished product, and I have to say it looks really, really good. I was actually quite worried about it because, as I've said before, when you do a dark colour on a wall, you've really got to make sure that the preparation on that wall is really, really good. Otherwise, any defect in the wall or in the paint just stands out. So this is really, really cool, and I'm pretty sure it's what Jadine wants. She's going to love this, and it just sort of accentuates the room really. So once you get to bed and there's side cabinets and stuff in here, it's all going to come together. So I'm really happy with what the guys have done. It's awesome.
While the builders have been working on the interior of her house, Jadine's rebuild also includes a fully landscaped garden. And what's her number one priority? Did I hear her say a rotary clothesline?
Okay, now we're at the outside stage, so this is pretty much the beginning of finishing the outside in terms of the landscaping. Now, in Jadine's case, we had to sort of replicate what she had in her previous home, sort of within reason. So she had a certain amount of concrete, she had a certain amount of lawn, a few other features going on. So as part of the rebuild, it was about replacing like for like as much as possible and creating a design that was going to fit the new house. Obviously the new house is laid out slightly different. I've had the drains done nice and early, so the soil and stuff outside's had time to settle. And we've had the team from Outer Space Landscapers down here. Jordan's been down and he's met with Jadine. They've had a bit of a walk around. So the only thing that we're still negotiating on, well, not really negotiating, but as part of doing a landscape plan, obviously you can work with the owners and decide where things are going to go. Clothesline.
Clothesline, yes, is super duper important here, and I've really got my heart set on having a rotary clothesline, so that's a yes.
Yep. Cool.
Right, yes.
Yep.
As opposed to one of the long ones.
Yep.
I would really like it to go down here, gets lots of sun, beautiful.
Yep.
However, the guys that probably don't do a hell of a lot of washing, their lovely wives probably do, would like it to go down here so that then the backyard can be used for touch and cricket and those kind of things.
Yeah.
So, which is definitely very important. So now we're just kind of deciding we might put it halfway.
I think that's a good idea. I mean, Jordan's idea from Outer Space Landscapes is good. He wants to utilise all of the back lawn, which is a good idea. And the clothesline, I mean, it's still going to get some reasonable amount of sun in that back corner. Where you're coming from, you don't want to be looking out of the bedroom window, looking at your clothesline. So I think possibly somewhere in the middle here, maybe get it into the corner of the lawn.
You did have a really good point though earlier when we were in this bedroom here. When you look out this window here, if we've got a clothesline kind of plonked out there, it's going to look so nice looking out onto that nice lawn.
Yeah.
And have, you know, the clothesline plonked in the middle. So, yeah, it is important as to where we put it. And
okay, well, I think we're on the right track, so if we aim for that region somewhere.
Yes.
So basically really shortly we'll be able to get into this. Like I say, the prep stuff's already pretty much been done, so I don't have any more work to do on the outside other than the landscaping, so we can get into it.
Back inside Jadine's house, the kitchen cabinetry and worktops are in, ready for Dustin to check out the installation.
Okay, so today now I've got Jadine's kitchen in. Obviously the process in itself, you'll see everything comes modular, so sort of in a kit set sort of thing. What happens is the joiners actually manufacture it back at the joinery shop. They actually build the kitchen in the factory and then they dismantle it and bring it out to site. So it turns up on site, the benches are it's one piece. Most of the cabinets are sort of in place, but then the joiner comes on site and puts it all together. So he'll put all the drawers in, put the bench top on, put the pantries and stuff in, pretty much all of the installation side of things. So because it's already been pre-made in the factory, they've always know that it's going to fit and then everything's going to work. If you go back a step even prior to that, when the framing was up, they came and did a measure, so we know exactly how big an area we've got to work with, and that way the kitchen is always going to be made the right size. Jadine's done really well. She's got a standard Formica bench top with waterfall ends, which means the stuff goes down the side. She's tried something a little bit different with some stainless steel tops behind me. It wasn't really my cup of tea, but to be honest, I'll have to eat humble pie. It actually looks bloody good. So I know she's going to be pretty happy with that. And in terms of a space and the way the kitchen's been designed and put together, the guys have done a great job. So thanks to Stockburn Joinery. Good work, fellas. It's bloody awesome. Hi, I'm Dustin. When it comes to PC sums, this is my advice. At Fowler Homes, we're not a fan of PC sum, so for many, a PC sum is a provisional cost. It's an allowance that's put into the contract or suggested without any real knowledge of what the item's going to be or the end result's going to be. So we prefer to provide quotes to support every part of your build. Things like the kitchen design's a really good example. You do a design, it gets quoted, so we know exactly how much that component's going to cost you. If you do a PC sum, you're really only guessing, and that can be a bit dangerous because the PC sum could be too light, in which case for you as the homeowner that translates to a variation later on down the track.
and variations aren't really ideal. It's additional costs that perhaps you hadn't thought about or that you hadn't budgeted for, so all of a sudden a low PC sum can result in the clients getting a bit stressed about how much more money they have to spend on their home. So PC sums, as a rule, my advice is remove them. Support everything with a tangible quote, and then you're fully aware of how much things are going to cost you and what you're going to get in your home.
Coming up, we find out whether it's true what they say about a woman and her wardrobes. At Jadine's house, Dustin finds out what Jadine has planned for her bedroom storage. What is it about women and their wardrobes?
Today we're here with Jadine. Jadine and I are going to have a look at her wardrobe systems. Just going to have a talk about what she's going to put in them. She's got a few cool ideas, I hope, and we'll see what we've got to do. So let's have a look. What are you going to do? What do you want?
Okay, so what we're going to do in my walk-in wardrobe is I kind of wanted to mirror what was happening on both sides.
Yeah.
So go one shelf going right around the perimeter, right around the top. So we're going to do shelving going all down here. So for shoes, jumpers, clothing, that kind of stuff. Mirror on the other side is, mirror the shelving on the other side.
Yeah.
And rail. The shelving will be built in, so we can still with the light switch there too.
Oh yeah. Okay, make sure you miss that.
Yeah.
That'll be a bit tricky trying to get around past your jumper just to turn the light on.
My shoes. And then more, I'm guessing kind of underneath there as well, I could also put shoe racks if I need it for extra shoes.
So you could do that later though?
Yeah.
If it's not there now, you could add
I
that
can
later.
just get the portable, the shoe racks you can get from like the warehouse and Briscoe's, and just maybe put it along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, in spaces like this, there's so much you can do with them. Often with the modular systems that are available today too, if you don't put too much in at the beginning, you can always add to it. So depending on your budget, that's helpful.
We're in the showroom of Simply Wardrobes, and this is where Dustin and Ivan send their clients when building a Fowler home with them. We're about to meet the lovely Fiona, who's going to be discussing all the fabulous wardrobe and storage solutions, and also discussing what options that Jane and Jadine took for their house build.
Yeah, hi, we're at Simply Wardrobes. I've come to introduce you to Fiona. Fiona's the lady that we send all our clients to. In this case, again, Jane can't be here, she's away, so I thought we'll come along and do this for Jane on her behalf. We've got a pretty simple process here at Fowlers. We send all our clients go to Simply Wardrobes to select what they want, and Fiona's charged with the responsibility of making sure every woman has enough room in their wardrobe, ain't you, Fiona?
That's right. So I will contact Jane, and Jane will come into the showroom and we'll run through what we can do for her within the budget that's been given, and from there draw something up and get back to Jane and Ivan with a concept and a quotation. It's a simple process. We find that Ivan's clients will come in and initially we just show them what's available, what we can do within that budget, and other options available. Generally, Ivan's clients will go with our iRobe system, which is behind you here, and we also do the sliding doors as well.
Yeah, you've done our sliding doors for quite a while now, and I guess I've noticed that most people stay with what I consider to be the standard door, but a few spec them up, and I understand from Patrick just recently there's a whole range of new stuff coming in. That must be quite cool to have something different to offer.
We're always bringing in new ideas and just making a bit more available to the public and what we can do. But as I say, most of Ivan's clients will come in and what he has chosen originally, they work with. It's a great product and looks good and covers all their needs.
And do as they're told most of the time. Clients are pretty good in general, aren't they?
That's right. Well, yours are.
Yeah. But also, I mean, it's often said about how little space some houses have in wardrobes. I know that you guys add a lot of, you basically get rid of all that wasted space and incorporate it with drawers. Are quite popular too now, I've noticed.
Generally, all of your clients will have at least 2 sets of drawers in their walk-in robes, and that means you can take furniture out of the bedroom.
That's right.
Double hanging, of course, makes a big difference. If we can put 2 rows of hanging in, it's a very good use of space.
Back in Redwood, Dustin meets Jadine in her newly installed kitchen. Is Jadine happy with the finished result?
Okay, today we're here with Jadine. So her kitchen has just gone in, which is normally really, really exciting for the homeowners. It's one of those milestones that people look forward to. And so here it is, it's in. What do you reckon? All right?
It's pretty fantastic.
Pretty fantastic.
It's way better than what I had expected. Oh, definitely. Everything has just come up so shiny and new, obviously, but it's just the colours and seeing, like when you see the like the little colour samples and then you actually get the actual cupboards in, it just looks amazing. The colour looks so different.
Cool. Often, from our point of view, like we see the design, we do a design at the very beginning, and it's generally on paper. So, personally, I get to miss a lot of the interaction with Sockburn Joinery in this case, who worked with Jadine. So I don't get to see the colours and stuff until it's in. So it's always good from my point of view too to see everything working and all the colours coming together, and just what Jadine's chosen. You know, where she wants her drawers, where she wants her doors, pantries, all of that sort of thing. So it's looking good, mate. I'm really pleased for you. So it's a really nice space.
Definitely.
And I think you've done everything right. And even though the pipes started in the wrong place, it's actually working out better, isn't it?
Yes. They were around the other way, weren't they?
But that works better now, doesn't it? Absolutely.
No, yeah, it does. It looks pretty good because you're going to be able to stack your dishwasher down here and as opposed to this way. So yeah, no, it is pretty good.
That's good. All right, I'm pleased you're happy.
Dustin didn't know it, but Jadine has already seen her new kitchen the night before. She just couldn't contain her excitement.
Woo! Yes, I definitely had to sneak in and have a wee look. I came back from Blenheim late yesterday afternoon and swung by, ran in and was absolutely gobsmacked. Screamed my little heart out and pretty much run around and did a little dance. Seriously, it was so exciting. I didn't dream that it would be anything like this. It's bigger than what I thought. Shiny. This bench top has just come out so well. So I kind of changed the bench top at the start to make it into that waterfall edge, and it's really just made the whole kitchen. Yeah. So pretty exciting. And I've got a dishwasher too.
Next time, Jadine's house starts to look more like a home when she gets the flooring of her dreams. With Jadine's house so close to being finished, will Ivan have anything new happening at Jane's Build? Find out next time on Your New Home.